Hey, how you doing? I'm Adam Post, publisher of College of the Dead, publisher of G.I. Jackrabbits, publisher of more than 1,000 independent comic books, and this is my Secrets of the ComicsGate Network series, where I talk about my publishing experience over the last few decades and in comics, and my business experience and my experience in crowdfunding with ComicsGate people, who are an amazing group of positive, supportive people. Can't thank you guys enough. Ethan Van Sciver did a tweet, and I really like when Ethan takes time to do this, when he's just like, listen, I just need to tell people, here's a good direction, here's what worked for me, hopefully it works for you. All right, I'm going to show you what Ethan tweeted that I was so impressed with. I want you to go ahead, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and give me comments on what you think of this. Do you think Ethan's knows what he's talking about? Is he giving good feedback? I mean, I certainly do. Maybe you don't agree, but let's see what you think. This is what Ethan said. My instincts about successful crowdfunding go against everything we're used to from the mainstream. He's talking about mainstream comic book publishing selling to comic book stores. But a lot of comics gators seem to aspire to bend back towards that model. And when he's talking about that model, he's talking about selling in comic book stores, publishing more and more comics. But he explains it pretty clearly right here. Number one, Ethan instinct. And this is his business practice. Sell directly to the consumer. Now, when you sell to distributors, when you sell to retail stores who then sell to individual customers, they are all customers. But Ethan's 100% correct that the consumer, direct to consumer, the consumer is the one who's the end user of the product. They're also a customer. But in any supply chain, in any business, in any industry, in any product, in any service, there's always only one consumer, even though there could be several customers, like a distributor, like a retailer, and then ultimately like the person who's the consumer, the person that buys it at the end. So Ethan loves direct to consumer, and he advocates for that. You get the most control and you get the most profit. Distribution means more sale and less money. So he's talking about if you're selling to Walmart, if you're selling to comic book distributors who sell to stores, the more distributors and other people in between you, the creator, the publisher, and the consumer, you're going to have more sales. So you'll have more overall revenues potentially, but you're going to have less income as a result. There's another big aspect to this, which is when you're selling direct to consumer, you have the control of how your product is presented. You have the control of how your product is priced. You can decide if you want to do variant editions, or Ethan did this executive collector's box for his current book that he's offering, Wreck Planet, which is breaking all records and doing phenomenal. Congratulations to Ethan on that, and to all of ComicsGate, because it helps all of us to be around success like that. But you don't have that option to produce a $200 collector box or multiple variants, or like I do, ash cans and art book versions of your comics. You have to get approved for everything that you want to offer when you're selling to a retailer or when you're selling to a distributor that's selling to a retailer. So you have an opportunity to produce the product the way you want to produce it, and to offer any alternative versions or special collector versions the way you want to offer it when you're going direct to consumer. Number two, Ethan states infrequency. It's not that he doubts you can do 12 books per year, but it'll result in overexposure and boredom. Doing fewer, longer books, one or two per year, will create anticipation and enthusiasm, like the J.K. Rowling model. Serialized novels do this, and we should too. So the point is, can there be a monthly Cyberfrog comic? Could there be a monthly College of the Dead comic? Yes, of course. There are many artists, there are many writers, there are many colorists, there are many letterers. The people I work with are phenomenal. And Ethan's a super talented writer and artist, but, yes, I included writer. But, yeah, you can always hire more people and produce more comics. But is it going to be special every time you release it? Could you release a collector's box like Ethan did with Wreck Planet, his sequel to Cyberfrog? If you were going to be doing that every month, no, you can't. You give up a lot when you put out a book frequently. So for me, my model is twice per year. Every series that I start, as long as people like it and they want more of it, I'm absolutely going to be continuing to do 2 books per year, 48-page full-color graphic novels. I like a consistent model like that, and I like sequels. Creators should be doing sequels. Fans deserve sequels. They want sequels. Give them sequels. If you have a standalone story, you can't do a sequel. Some stories are like that, and some things are a one-off project. But to the extent possible, always do sequels. Ethan's suggestions on marketing. That's the key component missing from the indie comic scene. Anyone can get published, and anyone can fulfill, meaning ship the comics after they've been printed directly to customers. Yes, anyone can do that. But getting the word out and creating buzz is vital. Yeah, it is difficult to get attention to your projects. It is pretty much everything. You've got to get people thinking about them, talking about them, hopefully, helping you promote them by retweeting them and telling friends about them. As Ethan says, keeping yourself out there on everyone's mind should be the purpose of your social media. So your social media is your Twitter, your Facebook, whatever you're using, Instagram, Snapchat, God only knows. But use all of it to get yourself out there and get people thinking about you and the projects that you're working on. But it's not something to take lightly. You really, really need to think about how you're going to make sure people are aware of it. If you're in ComicsGate, then we all promote each other quite a bit on each other's YouTube channels, and you also should have a YouTube channel. Lastly, on your platform, Ethan reminds us, your YouTube and Twitter can't just be nonstop ads for your product. I'm sorry, Ethan, I'll do better. No, they're not. I don't just do nonstop. Come on, Ethan. No, I don't think this is for me, but if it is, we could all do better. Adam, your YouTube and Twitter can't just be nonstop ads for your product. You must create entertainment to draw viewership. Shill streams are dull and don't sell comics. 95% of your channel should be fun and informative with 5% ads for your comic. So, look, I'm making a little bit of joke by addressing this to me, but we all should be open to criticism, and we all should be listening to people who are successful with what they're doing. If you want to do something, the best way to figure out how to make it happen for you is to model what someone else is doing successfully. Doesn't mean because Ethan's doing Cyberfrog, you should do Cyberdog. Trademark Adam Post. No, it doesn't mean you should do exactly the same thing he's doing or that you can do exactly the same thing he's doing. But look at these ideas. Look at the principles. I do have plans, to have more live streams and have them be more entertaining live streams and not just doing promo streams for people. We all do the best we can, but we should look at these as principles that we can follow. Ethan had another tweet I thought was interesting, where he reminds people, hey, absolutely nothing is sustainable in sales without advertising. You have to be constantly telling people about your product and find new and interesting ways to tell people about your product. And then he says he loves advertising and marketing. If he was an incredibly brilliant comic book artist and writer, maybe he'd do that. Ethan is damn good at marketing, and that's why he's got the #1 crowdfunded comic of all time. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell for notifications. I will do additional videos. It has been great making this video. I will see you again soon with another video, and if I don't see you, I will miss you.